Did it work? Did we do it? Yes. Nice, Daniel. Well done, sir. Okay, y'all. Well, Shabbat Shalom. It's like we're after like a big day like last Friday. We're kind of in the wake of that, which means we get a little bit less numbers the week after. It's just the way life works, I guess. But next week will be double feature Shabbats. Hopefully we'll get some numbers for that. But anyways, I want to invite Autumn up here to light the candles for us. Autumn, they are extra ready for you, by the way. And that is on page 120 in your prayer books.
Oh, I have so many options.
I know. Those are not as easy to light as you would think they should be.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate it. All right, move over to 128. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achyot gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achyot. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achyot gam yachad. Move over to Lachadodi on page 138. And tonight we're going to recite paragraphs 1, 5, and 9. Oh, and sorry, when we get to 9, I invite you all to stand up and face the entrance as we greet the Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmiyanu el am yuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem l'tiferet v'letila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva ore kumi ori, uri shir daberi, Kivod Adonai aleka negila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likra kala. Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Boi v'shalom ateret bal'am, gam b'smicha u'tzolam, toch emunei am segulam. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 You may be seated. We're now going to move over to Shalom Alechem on page 142. Shalom Alechem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's turn the page to 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach Yotev Yamlik Malchutei, V'chayechon uv'yomechom, Uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Uv'izman Kariv, V'imaru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'alam Ulal Me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar V'yipramam V'yitnasem, V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitalal, Shemei Kurasham B'richu, Le'elam Min Kol Birchata V'shiratam, Tushbechata v'nechemata da'al miram be'alma v'imaru. Amen. Turn to the next page, the Baruch Hu on 146, and I invite you to rise with me. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam may be seated. Okay, we're going to read together the English on the top of page 149. Praise be to Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As seven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. We will now continue in the English and read the bottom part of 151 together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love, this holiest of your works, in the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We now move to the Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malachuto Leolam Avad. Turn to 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meyodecha v'hayuhu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alavavecha v'shinartam levarnecha b'divartam ba'am v'shivtecha b'veitecha Uv'techa hava derek, u'shofecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leyot al yadecha, v'hayu totafot beineinecha, u'ktaftam al mizizot beitecha, u'visharecha. Lema'am tiskeru, v'artitem et chol mitzvotai, v'yitem kiroshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzitzietchem meretz Mitzrayim, liyot lachem leElohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. And let's read the English together on top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go is eternally Egypt. If there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. 158. Lie, 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 lie. Mi chamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'dar ba'kodesh, no ra tehilot osei efele, no ra tehilot osei efele, lie, 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 lie. Read together in the English on top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, Paresh Sukkot Shalom, Alini v'Kol Amo Yisrael v'Al Yerushalayim. We're on top of page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. B'nei Yovein, B'nei Yisrael, Oti le'olam, V'shamru B'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Ki shechet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. We now move to the Amidah on page 164, and when you arrive there, I invite you to stand with me. Adonai sefatai tiftach uviyagita hilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach uviyagita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol v'Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, V'Mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezra Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'Netayeh Kol Atara L'Yoshia, Mashiach HaRuach U'Marit HaGashem, Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim B'Rafei Cholim, U'Matir Rasurim, U'Mekayem Emunato, L'Shadei Afar, Michal Mocha Ba'al Gevurot, U'Midom Mehelach, Melech Meimit U'Mechayeh, U'Matmir Yeshua, V'Emanata L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. You'll now continue silently until page 180. You'll be seated whenever you like. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel. Vimru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'yakol Yisrael. Ve'yakol Yoshvei Tevel. Vimru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael. Okay, some words of Torah. So in this week's Torah portion, Joseph reveals himself to his long-lost brothers in the swelling of one of the most beautiful and powerful moments in the Joseph cycle. When he does reveal himself, he and his brothers break down in tears, each barely able to believe that their destinies led to this moment. So emotionally charged and loud was this moment, the narrator of the Torah makes sure that we know that the Egyptians in the other room heard them crying. And so powerful is this moment that its news leaves the room before the brothers do, and Pharaoh hears about it before Joseph tells him about it. An incredibly eye-watering moment of redemption, forgiveness, and providence. And while the years of cycling through this story should subdue the emotional peak of this reunion, I must say each year I'm drawn into this moment where brothers thought lost forever are reunited in the most incredible way. But once I experience and process this reunion, I come back to earth with some questions. As incredible as it is for Joseph to reveal himself to his brothers, he did it in a very strange way. This is not the first time Joseph and his brothers are encountering each other. Joseph didn't randomly see his brothers and instantly remove his mask and say, "Hey, it's me, Joseph." Joseph recognized his brothers long before they recognized him, and he took advantage of that fact for quite a while. In fact, in last week's portion, the narrator includes the fact that Joseph dealt harshly with his brothers when he first encountered them. Jacob had sent his sons to Egypt, hearing that Egypt still has food, while the whole region is experiencing a famine. Ironically, not realizing that the whole reason Egypt had food was because Joseph prepared Egypt for this famine. Anyway, so when Joseph encounters his brothers in Egypt, asking for rations, Joseph accuses his brothers of being spies and sends them to jail for 3 days. His brothers have no idea it's Joseph. They see the vizier, the second most powerful man in Egypt. In fact, the narrator is careful to tell us that there is an interpreter translating ancient Hebrew to ancient Greek and back and forth. The interpreter is unnecessary, but Joseph decides to keep the facade going. And so he overhears them as their brothers speaking in their native tongue, discussing how they deserve this treatment of being called as spies and being thrown into prison for selling Joseph into slavery. Joseph could have revealed himself right here, and it would have been a moment of incredible irony. But instead, he weeps to himself secretly. He then sends a number of mixed messages to his brothers. First, demanding a hostage so that the brothers can come back with their 12th sibling, Benjamin. Then he sells them the food and secretly puts the money back in their bags. So predictably, with a brother hostage, they come back to Egypt with Benjamin in tow, bringing with them double the money they paid for last time, and trembling with fear at the notion of dealing with the capricious vizier who accused them of being spies. And this second encounter is just as strange. They were terrified to be brought to Joseph's home this time because they thought they were going to be punished again. And when Joseph finally encounters the brothers and sees his brother Benjamin for the first time, he secretly weeps to himself. Once again, a great time to reveal himself. But he doesn't. Instead, he decides to play another trick on his brothers. He sends them off with the grain, but secretly gives their money back and hides a silver goblet in Benjamin's backpack. He sends them away, then has his palace guards chase after them and brings them back. They open Benjamin's bag, and lo and behold, they find a goblet, and Joseph accuses his brothers of being thieves. Then Joseph demands that Benjamin be a slave for his crime. Judah then makes an emotional plea to take him instead of Benjamin, ironically embracing the lie that his other brother, as Joseph, was killed by a wild animal, and the loss of Benjamin would be too horrible to bear. And this brings us back to this week's portion where I started. Joseph weeps and finally reveals himself to his brothers. What an exhausting and long-winded way for Joseph to reveal himself to his brothers. He accused them of being spies and thieves and jailed them, held his brother Simeon hostage, and threatened to steal Benjamin away forever. Now, the common interpretation of these events is that the brothers had this punishment coming. That they deserved to be tricked because they themselves tricked their father by selling Joseph into slavery and then telling their father that a wild animal had killed him. But this punishment is harming Joseph as much as it's harming his brothers. Otherwise, why else would the narrator of the Torah let us know that Joseph wept 3 times throughout this ordeal? The first 2 times would have been a perfect time to reveal himself, but he can't. Why can't he? Sometimes the Torah is aggravating. It's aggravatingly limited on the details it offers for its stories. I feel like we often know so little about the characters in our Torah, and that these stories concerning our patriarchs and matriarchs are just a small part of their full lives. I'm always left wishing for more. And yet here, in this Joseph cycle, we get a front row seat to Joseph's elaborate prank on his brothers, a strangely detailed and well thought out story, including Joseph's own emotions, in which 2 of the times he weeps, only he and us readers get to know about. So I believe the Torah is showing us is a crisis of identity for Joseph. Joseph was one thing when he was sold into slavery, and quite another thing when he became vizier of Egypt. His brothers showing up, this blast from the past, is the collapsing of these 2 identities on top of each other. Furthermore, his brothers didn't recognize him. When they saw the vizier, they did not see the long-lost brother. And Joseph, it seems, was not ready to embrace both these identities right away. In fact, I would argue that Joseph's trickery is a projection of his own feelings. By calling his brothers spies, I believe he's revealing that he feels like a spy. By accusing them of thieves, he's accusing himself as a thief. How else can one harmonize such disparate identities of a failed Israelite animal herder and a successful Egyptian vizier? That transition must come with some baggage. And unfortunately, his brothers were the recipient of the trauma he experienced from becoming one thing to the other thing. And I believe the Torah recognizes this as a difficult transition, and showing that even a great hero such as Joseph is not coping well with it and taking it out on his brothers. And I believe the Torah is telling us that we may have warring identities within ourselves. And we may deal with those warring identities imperfectly, treating others harshly due to our own trauma. And even if we treat others harshly due to our own baggage, we can still seek redemption, teshuvah. And if we do, it's possible that we can heal and become whole again. Joseph's rag to riches story may illustrate his competency and his talent, but his capacity to forgive is what makes Joseph powerful. And I believe we have so much to learn from Joseph's story. From his mistakes to his successes, Joseph teaches us what it's like to be human, and our Torah is showing us why teshuvah, redemption, is so important. Thank you. We now move on to our Misha Barak, our prayer for healing. I don't have the list in front of me right now, unfortunately. So if there's someone who you are thinking about who's in need of healing, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. We move to page 371 of our prayer books. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We now move to the Elenia, which you can find on page 586 of your prayer, 87 of your prayer books. Oof. 587 of your prayer books, I believe. Right? Is that right? I don't know why I feel weird about that today. Yeah, that's the one, 587. I got it right. Got it right first try. All right, everyone, I invite you to rise when you arrive there. Lenu l'shtapech la'adon ha'kol la'tekidula le'yoser breshit shehu samcha ken lechedet shemo v'garalenu lahamlik malchuto v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch. 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity, and cause the light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And let us light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol ha'aretz v'yom ha'hu yiyeh Adonai echad u'shemo We now move to our Mourner's Kaddish on page 598 in our prayer books. We're thinking about these yahrzeits this week: Maurice Alexander, James Leon, Adele Nachman, Sidney Rowitz, Yael Schomburg, Brent Schomburg, Milton Zanman, and we're in a period of Shloshim for Ted Purdy. If there's someone who you are thinking about, please feel free to say their names out loud or in your hearts. Zichronam livracha, and memories be for a blessing. Yit kedal, yit kedash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach chirotei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayechon uvyamechon, uv'chayedachol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarak le'olam ulamei almaya, yit barak v'yishtabak v'yit pa'ar v'yit bramam v'yit naseh, v'yit tadar v'yit taleh v'yit talal, shemei dekudashah barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbichata v'nechamata, da'emaran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min chamaya, l'chayim aleni ve'akol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleni ve'akol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Is the one who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. No Roy this evening for announcements, so I guess I'll offer them, and I certainly share Roy's sentiments when I say that you all are welcome here and that you all belong here. Not terribly much going on. We have Oneg after this. We have Saturday morning services tomorrow at 10:30, and then religious school is still closed for the winter break this Sunday, and then we have morning minyan at 8:30 on Wednesday in our Zoom room, and then again on Thursday at 8:30 right here with kava pancakes afterwards. And that's about all going on. Am I forgetting anything? Yes. Okay, Lego Club starts January. Which one? January 12th. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. We'll talk to Jenna about that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So then we have Lego Club starting again. Up. Yeah. That's awesome. Any other announcements I'm forgetting about? Okay. We'll move right on to 6:47. Oh, see, busy right? Yeah. Ozi vazimrat ya vayahi eli lishua. 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 Shabbat shalom.